Hello everybody, this is The Real Deal for the GMA Transmission Station. Today we have a brand new co-host, and we're going to be covering a few topics off the top of our heads that caught our attention over the past couple of weeks that are still relevant and we wanted to talk about. We'll be doing this bi-weekly, and hopefully it turns out into a pretty good podcast. Anyway, enjoy the show. First topic up for discussion is YouTube's new partner program. Right now we have a tab open to show you exactly what we received from YouTube as far as their new guidelines. So essentially what they want is in the last 12 months to either have 4,000 hours of watch time or have 1,000 new subscribers.
I think it's 1,000 total subscribers.
1,000 total?
Yeah, it's 1,000 total subscribers.
Mm-hmm. Now, joining us for the first time ever is my good buddy Cheese from Atlanta, P. Tola.
How's it going, folks?
Back from busting Broncos and killing Bulls so I can have my steak in the morning. So how goes the night, Cheese?
But close enough. I'll give you the cigar on that one.
Good enough. So essentially, being you're the greenhorn here, YouTube's old policy was, okay, you gotta have, what was it? About...
I think YouTube's old policy is you didn't even have to have subscribers to monetize. We were monetizing before we even...
Was it 1,000 hours of...
I have no idea what
it was some odd amount of minutes of total content out before they'd even make you part of their partner program. Well, now they've instituted this new one of, okay, shoot for this mark and we know you won't hit it within this amount of time. So essentially you no longer get to monetize any of your content or get paid for it.
That's a crock of shit.
Now, it used to be they wouldn't even cut you a check until you had $100, period.
Well, I'm saying that they already had a bar, and now they're raising it in an attempt to force some people to demonetize.
No, not just some. All the small channels with under 1,000 or under 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months. If you don't hit that mark, your monetization goes away and anything you had earned is essentially gone.
Oh. So.
Go ahead.
So what are they, or is corporate television or corporate media trying to overrun YouTube now, seeing as it looks like the new wave?
Yeah, I see where you're headed. Essentially what had happened is I don't want to jump too far ahead in the docket, but essentially what happened was a whole bunch of companies that wanted their ads on YouTube didn't like the way it was being portrayed along some content, and okay, we're gonna pull this, and YouTube overreacted and started pulling stuff, so it was already hard enough to get revenue as it is. Now, what they pulled is essentially kicked out, I would say thousands of YouTubers just from getting any type of revenue.
I'd say more in the millions.
Okay, that's fair enough. And being this is happening, I think maybe an exodus is too strong a word, but it seems like people are migrating over to a competing site called Twitch which has a healthier ecosystem, ways to earn money via bits, cheers, whatever the content creator wants to call them, on the fly.
I see. It'd be more migration than Exodus. Because migration implies that it's not really a problem. It's just everybody's moving.
Mm-hmm. We'll get more into that farther along in the show.
Okie dokie.
What's your opinion on loot boxes?
Loot boxes.
You're gonna have to scroll through that as well, but talk and scroll at the same time.
With loot boxes, they've become the new standard in gaming, and they really want to push these loot boxes for microtransactions. So, what they're doing is they're taking the loot boxes and they're putting them and shoehorning them in every single game.
I see. It sounds like they're trying to make them, for every game, a pay-to-win. Yeah.
Exactly. In some cases, the loot box may just be cosmetic items, but in recent events...
Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there, but that's all. They've already painted themselves into a corner, so I don't feel that bad. It's not Call of Duty, it's Star Wars Battlefront 2. They started it off in Battlefront 1, essentially doing cosmetic items and whatnot. With this one, we're going to give you, say, a weapon that is slightly better than anybody else can have if you chalk up so much money. And essentially, the whole community got pissed and up in arms, and they took away the buy this type of tokens for some amount of money for a while, and they've gone essentially dark on that front for a little while. And what was it, a couple weeks ago, I heard rumblings that they were reinstituting it, if I'm right.
They said they were going to, so... And now the government's getting involved in saying they're gambling.
Okay, it's not gambling, it's just con artist 101.
Yeah, that's my sentiments too, but I can see where they're coming from. You put in a certain amount of money and you're guaranteed to get something. Something that you're looking for, maybe a legendary cosmetic item, a legendary weapon, blah, blah, blah. You're guaranteed to get something. But essentially it's like, okay, pull the switch, watch the reels go, and that's what they're trying to equate it to right now. And there's a bill in...
This is in Washington.
Washington that's going around to actually nail it down to if it is gambling or whatnot.
Well, I don't think it's really gambling. It's just them trying to make people impulse buy.
Exactly.
Which some people definitely going to fall for it.
I mean, I think...
who actually have sense probably won't.
Yeah. I think it even comes more into play. You had a kid who had essentially hacked daddy's credit card, got his information that's been like $13,000 on like a Clash of Clans game.
Yeah, that's possible. But then I heard rumblings a year ago about a guy that spent over $1,000 on what app game was that had the former governor?
Oh, Counter-Strike or something like that?
Yeah,
Not Counter-Strike.
Global
Strike. There we go.
Global Strike. He spent $1,000 and hadn't even made it through halfway through the game.
Hmm. Well, there's even more issues with this type of ordeal, of this type of thing. What was it? Oh, what the hell was the name of that game? It was brought out by Ubisoft, the ones with the Vikings, Samurai, whatnot.
For Honor.
For Honor. Thank you. I was drawing a blank on that. Essentially, people had done a test that if you had spent a year straight in game, you would not have unlocked enough loot boxes to unlock everything.
Huh.
And that's not a year playing the game, that's a year in game time.
Oh, jeez.
And this game, let me remind Kate and inform you, this game had only local matchmaking at the beginning. They did not have dedicated servers.
Wow. So it was basically pay us.
Yeah, pay us.
We'll make this game as we go.
Yeah, pretty much. There was also supposed to be, what was it? Couch co-op for this, but they decided to pull that halfway through development. Bleh.
Whoa.
Okay.
Not nice.
And it seems, well, microtransactions have been around since the days of the freaking arcade. Put in the quarter and we'll give you an extra life. They're here to stay. It seems to be the norm. I hate to be the devil's advocate, but how would you, or how many hours of your playtime would be, how would you do it right? Say, if you were to play like 5 matches, get a loot box, that be the norm, or how would you want it set up?
Oh, let's see. I'd have it set by difficulty rating. Like, if if 5 matches are simple, 1 loot box. If you get 1 incredibly hard match, like grand zero sum type match,
Mm-hmm.
then I'd say loot box.
Okay.
Simply because it makes you work, but at the same time, if you're having to put in hell of work anyway, you get the reward.
Okay.
With the loot boxes, I'd have them set up. I think a difficulty scale would be very wise to this.
Mm-hmm.
But not just. Some of them are even locked behind, they have to be paid for. Like in Shadow of War.
Yeah.
You have to pay for the troops. So I'd put it strict in-game currency.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to where if you earn the money in-game, you can spend it on whatever you want.
Okay.
Like, I think that'd be the wisest point to do.
So get rid of essentially... Okay, not... Get rid of super currency in-game and have everybody playing towards the same amount of currency or EXP rating to the loot box and have everybody play towards it that way.
Yeah.
Now, here's another one that I'll toss to both of you. Should there be any instance of there being a weapon that is upgrade on a higher tier than everybody else's, or should it be strictly like cosmetic?
Strictly cosmetic.
Okay.
On one hand, or if it's something that you have to find,
Mm-hmm.
that is only allowed or only done like a single event quest, I don't have a problem with it being, or with there being a higher tier item like that.
Okay.
Do it as
Because
a system.
Yeah. Or I understand what he's going for. Like, say WoW was going to run a winter event for 1 year, that item would be available for that event, and anybody who got it has that weapon or weapon buff for that event, and then it's closed out. And then I would go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then after the event's gone, it never comes back. Kind of like South Park's Sword of 1,000 Truths, but
yeah,
actual loot item that functions in a similar fashion.
And then I hate to throw it this way. Then it would go back onto at least I would hope that the developers, if it's utterly godlike, okay, you can get the weapon, but like, say people are bringing it in, they're totally overpowered, will be able to balance it to what everybody else is playing with. Like, okay, let's say like they get plus 20% on everybody else, which makes them you able to kill them. They're a little bit more difficult, but not utterly. I don't even have a fucking chance.
Yeah, if it makes the game unbalanced, I think they shouldn't do it, especially online games.
Because wasn't that the issue with the Galahorn and Destiny there for a while? It was
the Galahad, yeah.
It was totally overpowered, and people were getting it. But then you would have scrubs continuously complaining would drop mid-match, so everybody would get screwed. So then the developers had to nerf it. Okay, where are we? Okay, docket number 3. This is more towards me and Kate. You can throw in and chime in if you want to, Cheese. Is YouTube even a viable streaming site anymore due to the adpocalypse? The first one and the second one.
Wait, what?
Go ahead.
YouTube is... Well, it's never been the number one source for streaming.
True.
Twitch has always ruled the streaming field, but YouTube is trying to get streamers on board. And with them cutting the ad revenue and cutting the way you support your creators, does it make it even worth it to put on YouTube?
Yeah. Because with the first adpocalypse, you had people pulling it because the ad suppliers, like Pepsi, didn't like it being along with
guns,
white supremacy gangs, or other thing controversial. They pulled that type of ad altogether. Now with the Apocalypse 2.0, you had people pulling more ad revenue that didn't want it, along with like exploitation of children, etc. Which now you have people putting out ads that is few and far between now. I mean, I haven't seen a Pepsi ad in who knows when, or anything that isn't specifically structured to a certain group. Say, what was it? Demo Ranch, I would see is
NRA ads.
NRA. And then you'd have maybe some tech behind, like Linus Tech Tips from like a 2-year-old video still popping up. But as far as ads, they're few and far between.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm thinking that YouTube is trying to do like Turner does and Fox News does and control what people see in they're advertising.
Exactly.
For instance,
that's not too far off.
With Ted Turner or with CNN, any communications that Turner Broadcasting Company sends out, you're seeing what Ted Turner wants you to see. Same with Fox. You see what makes them or what they want you to see, so that you will be on their side in whatever argument.
So essentially taking their ball and
going home
and making you watch their game instead of a wider venue. I get what you're saying. Now to toss this to a different aspect. You're streaming, you're trying to get your viewers, your subscribers, and due to YouTube's new algorithm, you might get on their main page maybe once for every 10 videos. And it was that we had figured it out in the previous algorithm that they were cutting like 20% of your, your subscriber group from seeing your videos. I mean, if you put up 10 videos,
they got like one.
Now, if you put up another 10 videos, you got 0.5%. Each time it would essentially cut it in half to where you wouldn't even show up on their recommended. Now, as far as Twitch, I haven't seen anything to that degree. And it seems like they have a better setup as far as editing your videos or setting up a way for your viewers to chip in towards if they like your content, okay, we'll throw you a buck here or whatever on the fly. And I won't say that it doesn't come with its flaws. They tried to, a month ago, instill something of like, no, you can't just toss a buck here, you had to do it up 5. And the community came back and said, screw you, let us toss what the hell we want and you're going to pay for it. And they got the message loud and clear.
Well,
go ahead.
So long as they get the message.
Yeah.
I mean, job's done.
Yeah. Which would make it hand and fist a better community for streamers. I mean, you even got people like Jacksepticeye, and I'm not sure if Feuds is going over there or not.
I have no idea.
Then again, I've gone dark on his page. Generating exclusive content for Twitch. Now, they may have some things in order with YouTube Red, but that's for people who want to pay for ad-free content on YouTube. Plus, YouTube has also got itself into more hot water with Logan Paul, is that correct?
Yeah, Logan Paul, that asshole.
Yeah, him streaming a dead body of a suicide victim in the suicide forest over in Japan. Yeah, they're dealing with that.
Well, to a certain extent, I can understand why they don't want to show that. Because in America, the FCC restricts showing of dead bodies and wounded people on television, or people that are lying on the ground screaming for help.
Yeah.
Those are no-nos for communications.
Well, this was a no-no on YouTube's part already in their guidelines, but he decided to throw it up anyhow. And essentially got a slap on the wrist for it, saying, oh, we're going to take you off of our preferred program, but we're not going to take your damn site down.
So it's favoritism that saved his ass.
Yes.
Because he brings in the buku bucks for YouTube.
Okay.
Final thing on the docket. Oh my god, why do we have to discuss this? This should not be a thing.
The Tide Pod Challenge.
Back in 1998, we thought we'd have flying cars this year. We're having to tell people not to eat dishwashing or dishwashers.
Yeah, detergent. Teens daring other teens to eat Tide Pods. We don't need to tell you that's a bad idea. But apparently we have to now.
I guess that just means we're getting stupider and stupider by the year.
I put this as a note on the docket. Does the human race have an inherent trait that if Darwinism doesn't act fast enough, we try to do it ourselves?
Wouldn't be the first, or it kind of seems like that because
I'm not wrong here.
What?
I said I'm not wrong in my thinking that.
I was gonna say, I mean, it's happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Romans, their society collapsed from, I'm guessing, a general lack of intelligence.
Okay.
Or at least, it was a bunch of things, but that might have been the nail in the coffin.
Go ahead.
We're lacking in intelligence already.
Yeah. So we're well on our way.
With all these challenges, it used to be the gallon challenge, the cinnamon challenge, bath salt challenge. We're trying to do ourselves in, and we're calling themselves challenges. And here comes the double-edged sword for this whole thing. I saw recently that there is now Tide Pod donuts, Tide Pod shots, and whatnot. Isn't that kind of encouraging the kids to actually go through with this? Oh, we'll give you a fucking donut too.
I don't know if it's encouraging the kids or if they're trying to, like, back them away and say, eat real food, not this crap.
I don't know, but there's a subliminal message there. It's like, okay, this is okay. But it's not.
Yeah. I mean, I can defend this.
Oh, God.
And I don't think either of you could pay me to.
No, I would not want to be the lawyers who... Oh, God. That hasn't happened yet, has it?
Somebody been sued over the Tide Pod thing?
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's been sued over the Tide Pod thing yet.
I don't think anybody would be stupid enough to try... Never mind, I take that sentiment back. They've already done the Tide Pod Challenge. Because on the thing, it's clearly labeled as toxic.
Yeah.
Don't eat. It baffles me. Okay.
Actually, I think I just thought of something. If somebody tells you, or it takes the experience to learn from it.
Uh-huh.
Somebody tells you don't stick a fork in a light socket.
So you're saying reverse psychology is here?
Yes, maybe.
Did people raise their kids too many times telling them you stick a fork in the light socket, it's gonna shock you, and then they went and did it? Did you do it?
I eventually got curious, but I wasn't, and I didn't put the fork in the light switch. I said, okay, I know what will happen, but I want to see what will happen, and I was smart enough to use a rubber glove. But then again, the light started dimming, sparks coming out of an electrical outlet, And the teacher gave me dirty looks, and I pulled it back out. My hair was a little bit frizzed, but I learned my lesson, and I wasn't hurt because I used a little bit of intelligence and used rubber gloves, and I was grounded. Grounded, not being punished, I meant grounded to the ground.
Yeah, I got it.
But yes, there was inherently a curiosity there of, oh, you know what? Fuck it. But not to the point of, I'm gonna put this in my mouth.
Yeah.
And bite it, and then ingest this and see if I get sick. No. It's there, I'm going to get sick. I might die. Is that intelligence just not there? It's all like, or what level of fuck it all do you have to take?
A level that is beyond my comprehension.
And that being the final word, we're gonna call it a night, folks.